Good morning. Welcome to your daily tarot reading. I'm Karen. This is Veronica's Dreams Coaching and Tarot, and yes, there's a story behind that. I'm going to give you your daily reading using the Somia Tarot this morning. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. And as I shuffle, please remember to hit that like button and comment. You could comment like where you're from, give me an emoji, whatever you like. It does help to connect that way. And don't forget to subscribe as well. Let's take a minute. One more shuffle. Let's do this. Get into the reading, the nitty gritty. What's happening? Current situation. 8 of Wands, present influence, Magician. I like that combo. Unexpected. 10 of Pentacles. Wow, that'll be interesting. I can't wait to clarify that one. Challenge. 9 of Pentacles. Strength. Temperance. Where does this lead? Oh, the Wheel. 2 of Swords, a decision, and Justice. 9 of Cups being at the bottom of the deck. Hey, followed by the Star as well. So that's kind of a really interesting combo in itself. You know, the 9 of Cups can be considered the wish card, wish fulfillment, filling all those cups up, really reaching that point where you feel satisfied. It's kind of a satisfaction. The 10 of Cups would be that complete satisfaction, but the 9 of Cups is like you're almost there. That Star card is beautiful energy. There's also the 8 of Cups there, which is a new path, 10 of Swords before that. So definitely something had happened where you feel like something's like just putting an end to something and then recreating. What I like about the reading, so we have the Magician and the present influence. So I feel like that you're reminding yourself, hey, I got everything I need. I can do this. I've got all my tools. I can make whatever happen. And that influence and that thought process that you're living with and doing, it's like you're really, digging in and realizing that you can do what you need to do. The 8 of Wands is that energy of doing, the go. Now, this could be that you receive a letter, but because it's in the current situation, I feel like it's more the energy of movement. When you are looking at the Rider White 8 of Wands, it's all of the wands going through the air. It could be travel too. This 8 of Wands is a little different, but it's definitely movement of the chandelier. Some of you could still be in that momentum of the chandelier, because we do have the 2 of Swords over there. That's kind of like, I want to go, but I keep going back and forth. I'm going this way, I'm going that way. And you feel like you might be a little bit, I don't know, like out of sync. But I think with the the Magician is partially causing that, because sometimes when you feel like I can do anything, I can do all of the things, you're doing all of the things, and it kind of can get a little bit chaotic. Let's clarify. Let me do one more thing. I want to pull the advice before I go any further. What is our advice for today? Let's clarify. So I'm using the Somnia. It's a different edition for clarifying. Tell me about this Magician and our present influence. What is this? The World and 2 of Wands popping out there. I do feel like you've already put kind of an end to something. And, it's, again, I don't think it's a bad end or anything like that. It feels more like, okay, I'm done with this part of my life. I'm done doing things this way. Tell me more about this Magician. Yeah, see, nice. Knight of Wands, Knight of Cups, and the Temperance. Okay, so first of all, if you've listened to my readings before, you know how I feel about the Temperance. It's the alchemy of the water and the fire. That's what I feel like. It's like taking all of that passion and putting it into something that you love. It's like mixing it up and making it perfect. And look what we got here. We got fire and water. We got the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups. Again, going back to that Eight of Wands in this deck, I look at it a little differently because it's a chandelier going back and forth. It's not going one direction. It's not moving forward. There's something here where you're trying to mix things up, make something happen. This is an alchemy card, as well as the Temperance is an alchemy card. When you're trying to put something together and really make something happen, then you're mixing those things up and making it happen. It couldn't feel a little bit like you're going back and forth, but I feel like what you're doing is going, I got to find my passion, I got to find what I love, and I'm going to put that together. I like that energy. And this is like movements, because these are both knights, they're moving. Now, the Knight of Wands is moving away and the Knight of Cups is moving towards. So I feel like you're moving towards something that is more heartfelt, that feels more creative, that is more, using your intuition, that more emotional side than the passion side. So I do feel like you're leaning towards that, but you still want to put them both together. I love that energy for you. Okay, what is this Eight of Wands in the current situation? I mean, I really feel like that's what's happening here. Eight of Wands. Tell me about this Eight of Wands. The Fool. Ace of Cups, Ten of Swords. Yeah, I think like you really want to start something important. You really want to break free. And I feel like you really want to dive into something new. Some of you, this could be a new relationship, a new love, absolutely. But for some of you, it's like diving into something very creative, using that intuition, diving into, anything creative. And creative goes a long way. But that Fool in this deck, he's actually cutting himself free from those ropes that have been tying him to that bed, and he's allowing himself, freedom. And he's got his journal with him, and that's it. So this is having that faith. There is this Ten of Swords here. I feel like the Eight of Wands is you putting an end to something to make room for these new energies coming in. We saw the Ten of Swords back there. I feel like the Eight of Wands, though, is you're really trying to figure out what to put an end to. There's something that you're not quite sure you want to put to bed. So, again, it's not like you're ending a relationship. I don't feel like that's what it is. It's more like working on something and you're like, well, maybe that's not for me. But I get the feeling that, you really want to dive into something new. The Ten of Swords just feels like you need to put something at rest before you dive in. And I think you know that because of the cards, the way they're showing at the bottom of the deck. So we have the Ten of Pentacles in your unexpected. I feel like this brings you more stability as you move forward in these ideas. I feel like too that there is a piece of you that really wants stability. We have the Nine of Pentacles in the challenge there. And look, we have the Temperance. I didn't even notice that. The Temperance is in the Strength. So yeah, you're doing good to put this energy together. Tell me about this Ten of Pentacles. Nine of Wands. There's that Ten of Swords reaping its ugly head again. Okay, I think what this is, you know what? This has been hard enough. I'm done. I'm leaning into that cup, that emotional piece. The Nine of Wands is kind of tired. He's at his breaking point. Now he does keep going, right? He doesn't give up. But sometimes it also leads you to a point where you know what you can end, what you know needs to go. And I feel like this Ten of Pentacles is you reaching that, unexpectedly seeing that you can also be stable. Like some of you, it might be about money. Some of you, it might just be about being, cool in your own skin. But it's the stability piece that you're realizing that you can still do what you love and be in a stable place, whether it be a home or a this also, for some of you, I got a clear message that I want to clear that something's been a struggle, but it's coming to an end and you're going to get what you love. So if you're looking for a home and you've been like kind of waiting for things to take place, that might be, the weight might be coming to an end here, that Nine of Wands to the Ten of Swords. So let's, for some of you, I hope that's the case if you're looking at buying a home. So let's look at the Nine of Pentacles in your challenge. So, to me, this is just maybe to pull in a little bit more self-confidence here, that you might just want to dive in and look at what all of the things you have. You do with the Magician, but there's something with that going in two directions that makes you second guess yourself. Um, you and part of you, like if this is a relationship reading for any of you, this could be that if you've been used to being single, um, it's sometimes hard to dive in and get serious, just because you're used to being single. So I don't think it's a negative. Challenges aren't necessarily negative; they're just things we need to look at. But I think some of you, it might be a little bit of a self confidence thing. I'm not going to clarify that. I think that makes sense. The Temperance is in your strength, which I go right back to this Magician. You know, I think the Magician would be in your strength if I had two Magicians in the deck, because this is about as close as you come as far as putting things together and making something happen. You have the ability to do this. I think you're already doing it. That's why it's showing up in the strength. It may be a little bit confusing with this Eight of Wands, like because you kind of like have your energy, but I feel like everything's going to come together. And just don't, give up on something unless you know absolutely that it's not the right thing, because things are coming together. This is saying that things are coming together for you. So we'll take a look at the wheel. So the wheel comes in. I mean, this is kind of faded too, right? The wheel is a very spiritual card. This is exactly where we need to go. We're on the right path. We're headed in the right direction. Things are starting to change. Things are ramping up. I think of it, when that it's right in the middle of the majors, and you can get to a little point where you feel like you're dropping off, and it's like the pick me up in the middle of something. I know it's not exact, but it is. It's like the pick me up, and it's going to keep moving forward. I feel like you're headed into a pick me up, like a time where you really feel like things are rolling in the right direction. It does lead to a decision, but that makes sense. Sometimes those things happen. Tell me about the wheel. Anything else we need to know about the wheel? What is this wheel? Two of Pentacles, Page of Wands. There's that Ace of Cups again. Yeah, some of you are going to have some new love coming in. For sure. I feel like what this does, for some, if you're having new love come in, I feel like that someone's finally got some kind of time. Like the Two of Pentacles, they've had to like balance their personal schedule with work and all of those things, and they've got more time now, and you might be receiving a message from them, and might spark something new. For the rest of you, I feel like it's really, um, you know, you're balancing the Two of Pentacles, all the life areas, right? You've got work, you got home, you got kids, maybe family, all of the things we do in a day to day. The Page of Wands can also be like a beginning, because the page is a young person. So taking that, like, and the Page of Wands doesn't always think things through. So it's kind of like, just, I'm going to go do this. Like, yeah, I've been struggling with the, how to get started, basically, the Two of Pentacles to the Page of Wands. But I need to start, like I need to do this. And that's what the wheel is giving you, that kick, that start. You can do this, and you will lean in to the creative side. I feel like this is leaning in. Now we keep getting Wands and Cups together though. So it's really about finding that passion, but moving into it with love and trust. That's what I'm seeing here. So let's look at the Two of Swords next. So the Two of Swords, yeah, something's going to have to go at some point, because otherwise you can get real stuck. Um, that Eight of Wands felt a little chaotic to me. And I feel like that it's okay. You got to try all of the things before you can really make a decision on what's the right thing to do. So tell me more about this Two of Swords. What is this Two of Swords? Tell me about this. 10 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups. I mean, you are just, okay, the 7 of Pentacles is smack in the middle of this. And it's surrounded by cups, both good cups. So when I see the 10 of Cups with the 3 of Cups, friendships, being around people that you love and care about. 10 of Cups is a really good relationship. There's something here with this 2 of Swords, you deciding between the two. Like you're putting energy into both things, but you are trying to also figure out what's going to be the best option moving forward. And for some of you, it actually could be like deciding between a relationship and friends and family. But for some, it's, do I go all in with the 10 of Cups? There's something here where this decision involves commitment and, I mean, but at the same time, security, comfort, but it is a commitment. It's all in. It's a relationship, a full relationship. Whereas the 3 of Cups is a little lighter, a little funner. It's more about celebrating, being together. So I feel like you're putting energy in, and the decision is kind of, what do I really want out of this? And do I really want to go all in and commit? I think with the Justice following, it's saying, yeah, you're gonna commit. I mean, free will, but the Justice following this is like, okay, well, like that's the commitment. That is the right thing is going to happen. I feel like what happens here, and I feel like when you have a lot of majors going on, and we have actually quite a few in this reading, and even as the advice. So I feel like, there's something that's going to be kind of destined here, that you're working through the things, and it could be a little frustrating with this 8 of Wands, and you could feel like maybe that, you're not quite enough with this 9 of Pentacles. But all in all, you're headed in the right direction with the wheel. It's telling us you are. You get a little stuck, which is normal. And then that Justice tells us everything's going to balance out. Everything's good. The Temperance is a balance card too, as well. So you've got a lot of like energies happening here. So to me, when I look at the Temperance and the Magician, they're both have the alchemy ability. I look at the Justice and the Temperance, and they're both the balance ability. So there is some very cohesive, like energy flowing through this reading. Take a look at the Justice. What is this Justice? Tell me about this. Three of Wands, 8 of Cups, Ace of Wands. Yep, you know exactly what you need to do. You see exactly where you need to go with this 3 of Wands. And the 8 of Cups is, okay, I'm going, I'm doing. And it leads to something really brand new and really sparks your energy. This energy is important, but this is the Justice is the realization of exactly doing what you need to do. Now, I'm going to tell you that the Justice could also be a situation that gets handled, although not through you. So it could be like, my phone vibrated, and that's not, it could be like, okay, I'm going to use a job. Like, you kind of want to be done with your job, but you're not sure when to be done with it. And then Spirit comes in and says, okay, and you get kind of laid off, or something happens, like, I'm not saying you're getting laid off. I'm just using the job as an example, but something like that, where not ready for this project. You're working on something here, so you're not quite ready for it, but something happens where you're kind of forced into it, but not in a bad way. I feel like you're good. This is, yep, I know exactly what I need to do now because this happens. I'm going to walk straight away from whatever crap is, whatever you're dealing with, or whatever you want to walk away from, and going into this new opportunity because the Justice set things right for you. And feels really good energy, by the way. trying to figure out what we got here. Okay, we've got the sun and your advice. I mean, always, try to be joyful and happy. It's hard to do advice with the sun because we always want that joy, that happiness, the shining of the sun. But I feel like for some of you, it could be literally get out in the sun, get some sun, get your feet in the earth, but or even just out in the sun, if you haven't, don't take breaks off and maybe just go outside today and just let the sun hit your skin for a hot second, get that vitamin D going. Um, so for some of you, it absolutely is literal, get in the sun. But I think too, when we're on a journey to happiness, remember that the journey is part of that. That don't think I'm not going to be happy until XYZ happens. Use the journey to keep you happy along the way. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy um, what you're going through and the decisions you're trying to make and the testing that you're doing here with this Eight of Wands, and it's a little chaotic, and take a moment and smile and say, you know what, I'm doing something, and I'm going to enjoy this journey as much as I am once I reach my goals. So just keep that in mind as you move forward, because sometimes we get frustrated if things aren't quite working out right, or it feels hard. Part of the biggest part of reaching any goal is not reaching that goal, it's the journey along the way. Think about how much you go back in time and say, oh, that journey, oh my God, look at what I learned along the way. So just remember that when you're moving through something and you're getting a little frustrated. Just, I know it's not easy, but just try to take that moment and say, yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this journey. You're obviously doing something very important to your soul. There's so many art majors here, so keep it up. Take care. I hope you enjoyed. Give me that thumbs up. I appreciate you. Take care.